ねえ変わらないものはもうこの世界にないかなねえ伝えたいことはもうこの心にないかな夜の淵朝が待つ繰り返す日々ねえあの約束さえも忘れてゆくのならばねえこの歌声だけ君に届くようにと終わりから始まりへ溢れ出す涙から始まる今日遠くへ遠くへ過ぎた時の影星光求め遠くへ遠くへ消えないようにかげろ掴みたいね交差する交差する光と影その先に何がある
That looked more like the opening to an anime than a video game. But anyways, hey guys, it's AJ, and I am here with my review of Fragile Dreams. Fragile Dreams Farewell Ruins of the Moon is a third-person action-adventure RPG developed by Tri-Crescendo and is a Wii exclusive. This game was released in Japan on January 22nd, 2009, then later in America on March 16th, 2010. This game revolves around one of my personal favorite concepts, a post-apocalyptic world where all society has been long forgotten. Don't ask, it's just a thing I have. This game is a perfect example of a great concept that could have been done so much better, but taking it as it wasn't half bad. The game opens with your character, Seto, narrating that the man he has been living with in this new world has just died, leaving him, for all he knows, as the last living human left on this desolate earth. He then finds a letter from the old man saying that there may be possible survivors in a far-off tower, and that he should begin heading there. While he is reading this letter, a mysterious entity appears and seems disappointed that there is still a living human. But rather than killing you there, it leaves, claiming that Seto is just a waste of its time. Shaken but not deterred by this experience, Seto begins his journey to the tower. On his way, he hears the mysterious yet beautiful singing of what appears to be another person. As soon as he starts talking to her, however, she runs off, and Seto begins his quest to find her.
I touched her.
Something else that's fairly unique about this story is that along the way you will find these little everyday items. These items serve no point in combat, and most of them don't further the overall story. But when you take them back to the campfires, you hear the last thoughts of the people that own these. This draws you into this world even more and does a great job enhancing the mood of this game. Again, giving as few of the plot points away as possible, this game's story starts off perfectly for this game. It lets you know just enough to vaguely know what's going on, while still keeping a sense of mystery, effectively putting you into the role of someone who is thrust into this chaotic world. However, some of the story is, can I say, lost in translation? Some events that happen seem like they would make more sense in Japan, as this game was not really localized, but more just translated. The signs and writing and even all the credits are still in Japanese. And unfortunately, this game could have the most half-assed ending I've ever played. The first 3 endings of 999 made more sense, and those were sucker punches out of nowhere. I was seriously expecting there to be more of the game, or for there to be a New Game Plus option, but nope, they chose to end it right there. Really, I probably could have written a better ending for this, and that's just sad. It wouldn't have been so bad, but this game just had so much potential, and I'm not kidding, a good ending would have made this easily the best Wii experience I've ever had. But the ending just seemed so rushed, and it explained everything, but it explained it in the worst way possible. It was like so rushed and it's just like a bad ending to a great game, and I don't like it when games do that. This game has an extremely basic action RPG type of combat system. You have your inventory, you equip weapons, you kill enemies, that's basically it. And while it was very generic, it wasn't too terribly bad. One thing that was a bit of more of an annoyance than a bad thing was that every so often your weapon would break, and there didn't seem to be any set number of hits before it did. It would just randomly break. I've had a weapon break on my first use, and I've had weapons that I've had to sell because they were too weak without them ever breaking. So it was really hit or miss there. There's also, guess what? Annoying flying enemies. Yes, you thought Medusa heads were bad, just watch as these ghost birds show up, hit you for a fifth of your health, and fly up to where you can't hit them. And what's worse is they travel in groups of usually 4 or more, so you can die to these little things without getting one hit on them, if you're not careful. There are also a bunch of broken paths that you need to move slowly across or else you fall through. Game, I don't pick up an action game so I can tiptoe across broken bridges. But despite these flaws, you rarely feel like the fighting is out of place, and at very least the combat system makes sense. You're not going to be using guns if there are no people left on the planet, and if the weapons are likely at least 70 years old, they're going to break. This game is pretty easy though, and it was only in the last area of the game where I started to feel fear for my virtual life, and even then the game is very generous with save points. The boss battles are also very easy. I've only had to restart one once, and that's just because it required a weapon I didn't have. Okay, the last boss killed me once, but that's to be expected. I mean, it's the last boss. It's supposed to be harder than all the rest of them. This game also includes cool little additions that don't really add to anything, but are cool nonetheless. The sounds for the enemies will come out your Wiimote instead of the speakers, and they'll get louder the closer you get to them. You can also hold your Wiimote up like a phone at some points and have your partner that's traveling with you sometimes give you advice or sometimes give you random things that are relevant to absolutely nothing, but either way, that's still pretty cool. I have never had a game so easily bring me into this world. This game is done in a nice anime style, and while the animations for the characters are lackluster when viewed close up, this game's use of light and shadows, the slightly depressing music, and the stunning visuals portraying a ruined world make you truly feel like it is you against the world. And then, right when a tear is starting to run down your eye from the story of someone's last time on this planet, the freaking chicken guy comes up and ruins it. Seriously, that is the only flaw with this game's atmosphere. Other than that, it's great. But this merchant with the chicken head just shows up and kills any mood any memory items have just created. He's really a bad addition to the story. I really would have had a more traditional shop system, or at least have you read the memory items after he shows up. You do come to understand him a little better during the last 2 hours of the game, but other than that, it's just, what is this weird thing doing here? And no, they never explain why he has a chicken mascot thing on his head. But despite him, this game really is emotional and moving, and you really start to connect with Seto, feeling sad when he does, accomplished when he does, and when it's all said and done, this game is a great experience. This game took me slightly more than 10 hours to complete with moderate searching. You can probably expect anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, depending on if you want to search for every memory item or not. Less than 3 weeks ago, this game was priced at $40, and that probably is too much for this short game. But now that the price dropped to $20, if you're going to like this game at all, that is a price that's well worth it. This game could have been an otaku's dream come true, but they just got lazy at the end. Pity too. I hope Namco's Project Fragile makes another game like this, just to give it a better ending. I'd even go for a remake or a reimagining, just to get that ending fixed. Overall though, the game's not bad. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10 and a recommendation to all us dystopian otakus out there. For everyone else, this game might be worth a rent, but nothing more.
So, if there's anybody listening to this, please remember me. Remember that I was alive. Dang, that was pretty gloomy. I should have left it on a more positive